So Jabari Smith, he's been pretty much struggling this whole season. With good reason. I mean, he is a rookie and he's going to have his fair share of struggles. But recently, I mean, he's been struggling a lot. And by a lot, I mean, he has been pretty horrible from the field. Looking at the games, especially last night against Toronto, I mean, he had a better game than compared to like his last few games. But I don't know. There's something going on with Jabari Smith. I think it's him just trying to find his confidence and trying to find his way into the NBA flow. But, looking at the games last night, there were just a lot of plays that were pretty much questionable. Every time Jabari Smith got the ball, usually he's more of a spot up guy whenever I see him on the floor, whenever Silas runs a play. He's usually in the corner or on the wing waiting to shoot a three. And that's what happened for a majority of the game, but he wasn't really making his shots. I mean, he shot 25% from three last night, which is pretty, lackluster. He did have 15 points and 10 rebounds, but shot an abysmal 36% from the field. So today we're going to talk about Jabari Smith and why he's been struggling as of late. So we'll get right into it right now. I want to talk about his stats first of all. So looking at his stats this season, in 11 games played, averaged around 10 points per game, around 6 rebounds, and basically an assist a game. So he's playing around 30 minutes a game and shooting the ball at around 31% from the field and around 29% from the three. So pretty lackluster stats right here. He's also throwing in a block, which is great to see. But also his foul ratio is 3.6 over the season. So there's a lot of things to dissect in Jabari's game right now, so I think we'll get into it first of all with his offense. So majority of the people that knew Jabari Smith going into the draft had him as a guy that can shoot the three ball at a pretty high clip while also playing some great defense, but his three-pointer hasn't really converted. We saw that previously in the summer league where he really struggled with his three-point shot, but he definitely got it going in like the last couple of games, but he still struggled. Looking at it right now, he still is struggling with his three-point shot, and it just looks a lot different from what I saw whenever I watched his college highlights. But I think he's going to get into the groove of shooting that three ball. I think it's just a matter of him taking it and not just, being afraid to take it essentially. So we saw that last night. I mean, I think I saw this on Twitter. It was a clip of KPJ going into the lane. He was driving in. He passed it out to Jabari on the wing, and Jabari kind of just hesitated to take the three. It was an open three, and he ultimately got blocked by Scotty Barnes, and it led to a leak out. But regardless, I mean, Jabari Smith, he's going to have to take those threes. Hopefully he can take those with confidence, because I think if he does, he's going to be able to drop those three-pointers consistently soon. So in terms of field goal percentage, I mean, on offense, Jabari Smith, he's really sloppy with the ball. Whenever he gets the ball, either, when we run a play or, KPJ passes him the ball off the screen or even just, on the wing, Jabari Smith, his ball handling and overall just ball control is pretty sloppy for someone that's, I think he's 6'10", right? 6'11", 220 pounds. His ball handling is, not up to where I thought it would be. And, obviously being 6'11", you're not really supposed to have like a good ball handle because, Jabari Smith is mostly a guy that's going to be shooting the three and having some good defense. But, his ball handle could have some improvements. I mean, majority of the time he gets the ball, it's always a turnover, which is pretty much sucks. But, he's not a guy that's going to be running the offense, essentially. He's not going to be a guy that's going to be controlling the ball. So in terms of like other areas of his offense, I mean, he's getting to the spots pretty well. I mean, the thing about Steven Silas is that he's putting Jabari Smith in the corner and not really incorporating him into the offense. I mean, I would like to see a little bit more of like a pick and roll, pick and pop type of offense with KPJ and Jabari Smith. I think it would work well. The thing about that is that we usually run Sengun at the pick and roll type of offense right there. So it really just leaves Jabari Smith in the corner. And majority of the time he isn't open because, there's going to be a defender marking him down. But I think running some pick and pop plays for Jabari Smith could definitely benefit him in the long run. But we'll see. I mean, Jabari Smith, even in the post, he hasn't been too great as of late. I don't know what's going on. I mean, even with the mismatch, he hasn't been able to convert on that mid-range shot. So hopefully he can get that down too. I think it's just a matter of doing it consistently and just getting the practice in. So now let's talk about his defense. His defense has actually been pretty good. I'm not going to lie. He's been pretty great on the defensive end. There's going to be some plays here and there where he's going to look pretty bad. I mean, I think last night Jabari Smith was on Van Vliet, and Van Vliet just scored on him a couple plays. But other than that, I mean, he's been pretty great on defense. I'm not going to lie to you. The one thing I would like to see Jabari Smith improve on is his footwork. It just looks like he's pretty. I wouldn't say stationary, but more like his movements are kind of linear. I would like to see a little bit more a little bit more footwork into his offense and defense. I think it would help him in the long run. It just I don't know. He looks a little bit slow out there, but if he works on his footwork, gets into the gym, I mean, I think he could definitely be fine. So that was my take on Jabari Smith and last night about the game. I mean, we could talk about the game here pretty quickly. It was a pretty bad game overall. Jalen Green dropped 20. KPJ had another pretty solid playmaking game, but other than that, I mean, no one really played too well. Garuba, which I will be making a video on Usman Garuba pretty soon. He's been playing pretty well, and Kenny Martin Jr., who I did just make a video on, if you guys want to check that out, he's been playing great too. So that's my take on the Houston Rockets and Jabari Smith last night. You guys can let me know your thoughts about Jabari Smith. I think he's going to be fine. It's just a matter of giving him time and, just basically just meshing with the team. I think we're still basically a young team. We definitely have our fair share of mistakes that we need to flesh out or just iron out over the offseason and even over this season too. But we have a lot of time. We're a young team. Jabari Smith is going to be making mistakes, but it's going to be ultimately fine because I think he's going to be probably one of the best, if not the best 3-and-D wings in the league pretty soon. So I think just working on the three-pointer, working on the defense, his footwork, is all three of these things are really important, but also things like ball control. His intangibles are really great. It's just a matter of putting it into practice. So that's the video. My name is Rockets Empire, and I'm out. Peace.